another episode of Unfulfilled with Denise and
Denise.
Today's episode is
Can you be content without sex? We have a special guest today, Miss Minister K. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. We are great.
Oh, wonderful.
Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you for having me.
You are welcome. So let's dive right in. Can you be content without having sex? We're gonna let you go first, Minister K.
All right. Well, yes, you can be content without having sex. First and foremost, I believe it's a mindset. You know, the reality of it is, if you were in a situation where you had to be content without having a loved one in your life, you go through life and you deal with it as it comes to you, but that person is no longer there. So it's kind of like sex. In my case, I lost my husband, so I haven't had sex since he's been gone. And yeah, I had some rough days, and even said, hey Lord, do you realize you took my partner away? But I got through it because I decided to be content with that state that I was in. And so because it doesn't bring me happiness without him, I don't have a partner, I feel like, yeah, you can be content without having sex, because that's not your happiness. That's just not the only thing that you can do to be happy. So of course you can if you desire to be content, you can.
I agree. I think you can be content. However, I enjoy sex, so right now I'm not in the phase of saying if I do it make me happy. No, it's not something, a necessity that I need, but it is something that I enjoy. So can I be content without it? Yes. But do I enjoy it? Yes, I do. So I know that that's my thing that I have to work on with my walk of life, but I can be content without it for a while.
Oh,
okay. Well, for me, I would say, I don't know. For me, I would say personally, I think I would have an issue being content without it. It's something I definitely would have to work on, of course. Yes, I think certain situations will put you, will humble you to the point where you have no choice. I think if you don't have a choice, it's one thing, but if you're able to, you prefer to. And so for me, until I'm to the point where I just cannot have sex, then I'm going to always want it. I mean, and I don't think, to me, I don't necessarily feel that it's mental. I just feel it's something that it's mental, but I think it's just something I desire, something that I just love participating in. So I like sex. I mean, and of course, if you got a great partner, it makes it even better, So yeah, for me, I would say that I think I will have an issue being content with without having sex. I would. I just think that I prefer to do it as much as I can.
That's your extracurricular
until that feeling is gone and I don't have the desire. I don't feel my hormones does not react. I'm gonna feel like I want it still, and hopefully I can still keep getting it. I mean, I'm just being honest though. But Minister K, I like I said, I heard what you were saying. Like you said, because you lost your husband, that you had to make a decision. Put it like that, because you didn't have to be content. You could have married someone else right away or had a relationship or something like that. So that's a very strong will, to be honest. That's a very strong person, to be able to withstand from sex, because I know our bodies are made to feel a certain way. The chemicals we have, the hormones, everything that we have in our body is made a certain way. So I do say that, it takes a strong-minded person, especially a will of God child, to be able to be okay with saying, I can be without, I'm okay.
Let me just say this. When I was younger, I thought in that way, like I gotta have it. I mean, me and my late husband used to be some freaks, honestly.
All right.
We loved it. We loved sex. We loved it with each other. We loved it. And the thing is I thought that way until I started having children, and I noticed that my drive changed, because then I had to take care of my husband, of course, and he was a lover. So if he walked in the door and he nodded that head to let's go to the room, that's what it was. But the reality is when I became a mother, I started maturing a little bit more, and I started thinking about life in a different way. Whereas I went from a place of wanting to have sex all the time, I wanted something different other than that. So sex was not like a god for me at that point, because I was sprung, because he was good at it. The reality then came in as a mother and a wife. You have to balance it out. So some things you just kind of do less and less over time. You stop doing it, like a person who quits smoking. It becomes a gradual thing until they actually quit. Now, sex being pleasurable, and I enjoyed it because my husband was good. When he wasn't there anymore, now there's a question of who can do it like that. I don't want anybody just touching me, and I'm not so easily hot and bothered by it that I just gotta have it, nor am I into masturbation, because that's from my standpoint as a minister, that's sexual immorality. So I'm not going to engage in that. I definitely desire to be married. Do I miss having sex? Yes, of course, because I'm a human being in this body, and sometimes I have looked up to heaven and said, Lord, do you realize you took my husband away from me? Because it just doesn't go away overnight. But I think it's mindset, as well as the affectionate side of it, because some people sleep around with just anybody, whereas I got to get to know you, we're gonna become companions, and before we even talking about sex, then we throw marriage in that. Now that's me. That's why I can be content with that. I can't speak for other people. So coming from a person who desired it all the time to being okay to not having it, it's only because of God's grace. It's not because I'm perfect. It's shown not because I don't want to have sex. I'm just not having sex because I don't have a husband. So, I think over time you just think about things in a different way. You just see things differently. And so, yes, your question started with, can you be content? Yes, you can, if you so desire. It's just like if you start a diet. If you want to lose weight, you want to get some results, then you could do anything you put your mind to. You can do it, but it's about having that desire. And I have a desire to just be sleeping with somebody just for sex, because I prefer intimacy over sex. Because honestly, this is the unfulfilled podcast, so I'm gonna call it Unleash for a second. I'm gonna unleash it. I don't want to just be screwing. I want to be intimate with somebody that I'm in love with, and then we're making love. So that makes the difference for me. It's a purpose behind the thing, in my opinion. That's how I feel about it. Because I just don't want sex, because you can do that with anybody. You don't have to even love them.
Exactly, right.
I pride myself on, I don't want to be that person that says, well, I got a man. So you have a right to say you have a man, but do you have the right man is the question. So if I got the right man, that man, I want him touching me. I want him, loving on me, and I want him making love to me, not screwing me. So I think that you can be content with whatever it's about your will. It's about your will, so that's my take on it. You can do anything you want to do.
Yeah, because I was thinking, like I said, I had talked to a couple of people, and and one of the things that a lot of people are saying, even when you have a mate, sometimes you're not sexually active like that, and so and then you suddenly have a great experience with that mate, and then you just want it all the time because, like you said, it was good, and like I said, it doesn't necessarily mean that's because you're really sexually active and you like sex a lot that it has to be randoms and things like that. It's just you prefer to have sex a lot,
Tolerance.
Yeah, you got a high tolerance, exactly. So sometimes, it's not guaranteed that. I ain't saying people ain't out there randomly, if they sexually addictive or whatever, that they ain't randomly out there. No, but it is some people. Like for me, I don't want just anybody neither.
Right,
no,
right.
But I enjoy sex, and I enjoy as much as I can get it. I don't want to just sit there and lay beside you, and that's it. I'm sorry. We are connected for a reason. Let's enjoy this moment, every moment we can get. I don't want to sit there and lay beside you and your attention is on something else. And I'm like, dude,
I'm here.
You know what I'm saying? Dude, you know what I'm saying? It's not the time of the month or anything. Let's do this, because I have restrictions too now. Well, I can't do anything. And that's the only time I'm content.
Oh, Lord.
It's during that time. Other than that, I want you to be like, Taryn, look, baby, let me blow that back out for a second. Or something. And sometimes I want to be made love to, and sometimes I just want it to be rough, good,
straight
freaky,
to the point.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sometimes I want to feel like we girlfriend and boyfriends or something, or you know what I'm saying, if we together, or whatever. You can have so many things to do with your mate. So at the end of the day, yeah, you can be content, but like I said, for me, I think it'll be hard. I would probably say that for me, I would, if I lost my mate, I probably would be quicker with another one. I'm not gonna lie. I won't say I would last. I won't say that I would, after my grieving is over and stuff like that. I probably would be interested, because I know that I would prefer to have someone again. And so for me, it probably would be, and I probably would go through some bad seeds probably in the beginning. And because I would probably want to still have someone, so I feel that I'm making a better decision by being with someone than to be out there randomly, so I don't want to be out there just, where I got, Junebug on Monday and I got Kevin on Tuesday and Mike on Wednesday. No,
right.
So, yeah, so it's I guess it depends on the situation though. But, sometimes when you get, like you said, when you get it good, you always, the expectations is harder for the next person. So, and you don't know until you get it if it was worth it, And I do get mad. Now that's when I do get mad. If the sex is terrible, I'm upset, so don't waste my time. If it's bad, I don't want you. I'm just like, forget it, because I can't see myself, interacting with someone that I'm not physically attracted to that degree. As far as sex wise, I might be physically attracted to you, but the sex just didn't click. We didn't, the vibe just wasn't there. We didn't match that way. I think that's, to me, it's still gonna be a breaker for me though.
Yeah.
I can't just, unless we was together already and then sex fell off, and because of situations, I can do that. Now, if you get sick of something, I can do that. But then it goes into what you were saying when you think about, like, see me, I'm a masturbator, so. And I'm being honest, I am. So, some things I'm still working on,
I'm sorry. Did you say you are a master debater?
I said a masturbator. I like to masturbate, okay? So, for me, I don't necessarily have to have that guy to, satisfy me if it came down to it.
So you like having an orgasm? You like the feeling of the orgasm?
Yes, it released a lot for me. A lot of tension, a lot of stress. Sometimes I feel like that's all I got. That's my best friend.
So that the orgasm make you feel happy, not the having sex.
Well, I like it. I like the penetration to it too.
Okay.
We'll talk more about that in season 3. But yeah,
well,
I like both.
The orgasm itself is a very powerful thing. We know that was created by God, and that
if he had anything else better, it's up there in heaven with him.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why it's so much sin in the world, and I'm not blaming God for the sin. I'm just saying that because it was intended for married people, anyways, why it's so much sexual immorality going on, and that's why people have to, decide within themselves who you are to him, because you can decide to do something and be perpetual in it, and hey, I'm not judging a particular person or a particular thing. I'm judging what God calls wrong. So this is where I am in life. My desires have changed, which is why I can be content. I do have moments where, again, I wish my husband was here, but I'm not so caught up on the orgasm, which is when I was a little girl and I first had sex. I was 14 years old and I had an amazing experience, and I didn't even know it was called an orgasm. I called it the magic. So when India Ari came out with He's Got That Magic, I was like, yeah, I know what that magic is.
Shit, I wish man would have popped up at 14.
When I met my late husband, oh, he made the magic happen, baby. A couple of 2-3 times in a day sometimes. So I know how I can relate to how people feel about sex. But I believe, just like anything, you can abuse it. It can be too much, because I just don't think that that's a part of happiness. It's just it's a feeling. It's a good feeling, but I just can't see myself, especially not at this time in my life. I fought to get to a place where I'm at peace with myself, where I want God to be pleased with me. So I just think differently on that level anyway, but it's because of God. It's not because I'm perfect. It's because He's perfect and He's perfecting things in me. And so if I was so caught up in the thing of I need to have sex, I would be right back out here like I was when I was a teenager, and I don't want to be that person. So that's where it comes from for me. I judge my own self by the Word of God. Whatever God says in the Word, that's where I go with it. So I would say to anyone, if you feel that you gotta have it, ask yourself why you gotta have it. Why? Because I gotta have air in my lungs to breathe. There's certain things I gotta have, but then there's certain things I can do without, or I can get when I get. So that's what I think about sex.
I'm afraid man gonna close up, girl. I got it.
So, Minister K, I'm going to say that, what advice would you have for someone who is newly going through the situation you have, like you lost your husband, or just thinking about transitioning to a different mindset of not wanting to have sex? Just so, what advice would you give to that person?
Well, some people I would say, girl, sir, you go get married as fast as you can, because you're not gonna be able to make it without getting married.
Truthful, yeah.
Because it varies from person to person, honestly. So some people could actually be like me, because see, I did have on my side that I was raising my children, and I didn't want just anybody around them, and I kind of had some things, even before you give your life to the Lord, some things you just have in order about yourself. I know that I'm supposed to be one man at a time, and when my husband did pass, I was focused on raising my children, so I wasn't having sex then. So that's when I realized, oh, you can do without it. You can. So I think that if people have to do self-assessment, self-evaluation, because your tolerance on anything. When you have a drink, how many drinks you need until you drunk.
Exactly.
When to stop. So I think it varies from person to person. So I don't really have a short answer for it. But it's whatever you desire for your life. I desire intimacy, so that means that I would have to get to know someone again. We would have to have companionship, and we're not gonna have a sex ship. So that's not gonna happen. If we get to that point, somebody should be engaged. I should have a ring on, and that's where I am today. When I was a freak, I would probably be like, "Sir, come over here, meet me." It was different for me then. So I don't even, know how to say to a person that's dealing, what they should do, except, evaluate yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that from you too, because at least you're being, open and honest about how you used to be and how you conform now and how things are for you today. And that's a good thing, because, a lot of people hide their pasts and they don't say what they was back in their past or whatever like that. I mean, you definitely honest. I said, I do say one thing that I was listening to you said, and you said you actually had an orgasm at a young age.
Yeah.
I think sometimes that's where some women missed out at. You know, so I think if you get that at a later peak, it's like, I guess because it feels like it's new to you, so you just want it more because it's new to you, you know, and it's like, wow, I finally know what everybody was talking about, you know.
And she said the magic show. I finally seen the magic show.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I wish I had an orgasm at 14, you know. No. Maybe I wouldn't be such into wanting sex so much now because I would be drained out, hell, you know. I mean, I'm just saying, I don't know if that's true.
I'm not drained. I really think I have more left in me. I just waiting on the right husband to come along.
I mean, ma'am, you should have a lot left in you.
Yeah, I got a lot. I'm 18 years strong without it.
Ooh.
I'm 18 years strong.
Sweet baby Jesus. My faith ain't as strong as yours because the man.
Girl, whoever catch you up, Lord, they gonna feel like they done walked in heaven.
I'm gonna have the brother singing soprano. Yeah.
You said you're gonna have a singing soprano, huh?
Yes, I got a lot of love to give, baby. I had an 18-year break, so I, you know, and that's all glory to God because it's not that I don't desire it. The desire doesn't change. It's just I have a desire of a particular person I want to share that intimacy with. So that's what helps me to stay content.
Yeah, I don't think I could go 18 months.
I don't think I can go 18 minutes. Hell.
See, you
18. I mean, I could go 18 minutes. Maybe 18 hours, but 18 months.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I know I can do without if I need to. I mean, that's just that. I think if it's available.
I have done without
if it's available, you want it, of course. But I mean, yeah, certain circumstances that will cause me not to be able to do it, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, after I had my son and stuff, I went through a lot and I was down for a minute, you know. So yeah, I mean, I've been without sex for a while, you know, but it was due to situations. It wasn't that choice, exactly. Because I'm still trying to figure out, well, can you just touch it a little bit, baby? That'll help me.
No, but I've been without sex too, and it's not, like I said, it's not hard,
right?
You know, like I said, or like you all said, it's the orgasm that you enjoy. So that's what you're looking for each time you have sex. And most of the time with certain women, we don't get it all the time.
What's the point if you don't get to that point? I never understood some people just having sex, because sometimes the women are the ones who don't have it.
Right. That is so true. Yes, that's so true.
I don't see myself being desperate for that.
So then it becomes the fact of it was just to satisfy your
partner.
But
that's what I said. But I don't think mine is also because of just to have an orgasm, though, to be honest and stuff. Yeah. Now, if I'm in a need of something, I know I can satisfy myself. That's what I'm talking about when I say that I know I can make myself happy if I necessarily need to at that moment, instead of going out there trying to find Billy Bob or somebody for a night. No, but I think for me, it's the attraction with the person that I'm with. I like everything. I like the touch, the skin contact. I'm like a baby. You know how you put your baby on your chest? I mean, they know that you for some reason, a connection automatically. As I am with my mate, you know what I'm saying? When we touch, that connection's there.
Right.
You know, and I enjoy that. So all that plays a part, not just, he's hitting it up and that's it. Now, I like all type of sex style, positions and stuff like that, yeah. But it's also the person I'm choosing to be with. It's not about me just saying that, because I say I love sex, that I just like anybody's sex. No, it's all about, it's the whole presentation of it.
The package.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Ladies, I also think that sometimes there are triggers that causes certain things in our, the way we look at things. Because some people have been sexually assaulted and things like that, and that spirit to it is there. So a lot of times, because Uncle Johnny touched somebody, and in the case of a boy, he becomes a gay man because his uncle touched him. He thought that was what's supposed to be, and so now he just can't go without sex. And or the girl who got raped or something like that, and she becomes promiscuous.
Right.
Real for her. And so sometimes, that's why I say sometimes it's a mindset, because it's also a spirit. And so if they don't break through from that, they'll just feel like I gotta have it all the time, because it depends on how they started it in the first place.
Yeah, I know somebody
that
like
is
that.
true, and that you're feeling a void sometimes too. We know that sometimes these situations happen in your life, and so sex end up being your comforter. So you feel like you gotta have it because this what makes you feel like you're safe or whatever it may be that you're using that for. And you're correct. That's what usually what we do. We find something that make us feel that the things that did happen didn't happen, or whatever, or make us feel a little bit better about ourselves.
I have not a friend, a person I know who opened up to me. He said that he was introduced to sex very early, and it wasn't as in a, he didn't take it as he was being molested or raped type of situation. He just thought that they were introducing him to it, and once he got his first orgasm, he just like, oh, I want this all the time. So even going into his adult life, it's like he's saying he busted one every day, even if he with a woman or not, because the body is feeling that urge that I want this all the time. And I was like, well, how do you balance that? Because sex is good, but I don't think I would want to be having no orgasm every hour.
But see, that's
he was like, that's just what his body is just used to. And I was like, well, damn. Like,
I might have to go see a therapist.
No, but yeah, I mean, certain situations will put people in that mindset to feel like they have to have that.
Yeah.
Right. That's how some people end up prostituting their bodies because, when they were violated, they didn't know their worth, low self-esteem, all that kind of stuff, and then sex just turns out to be a soother for them when really they could have talked it out with somebody and got the help that they need. So it's many reasons why people are sex crazed, addicted to sex, and want it all the time. But, I mean, they can be delivered and come out of that way. It doesn't have to stay like that, but because again, that orgasm is a powerful thing. That's why I know God created it for married people, because it can get you in trouble. As good as it is.
Yes, Lord.
Put you in a position.
And it came from him, because that's usually who you call it. No, when it happens.
I was in a position where you think in the relationship didn't even know you was.
I
mean, like,
we together. You didn't check the box.
I didn't check the box.
But yeah, you're definitely correct, Minister K. You definitely is correct. This was actually a powerful episode. I mean, I believe that you shed some light on the positive side of sex, as well as knowing that hey, sex ain't everything. It's not. We do talk about sex a lot on our podcast because we want people to be open and be educated as well, and also be honest with themselves and stuff. Because some things we do and we don't want people to know, or we're closed in, and some things we realize we don't have to do, or we don't have to feel a certain way or whatever. And this is where our outlet comes in, and to be free to speak your piece. And we love having different type of guests. We're not looking for sex addicts and all that stuff. We have fun on our podcast. We also have serious moments and stuff. And we appreciate the education that you spread it to us today, because, with someone who had a good balance of sex and how it changed over time, it let us know that anything's possible, but it does take a strong-willed person, definitely. And it definitely takes some people who has a great relationship, not only within themselves, but definitely with the higher being, with God. And so, if you want to be, you have to have help. Nothing is easy. So we should all know that. I know a lot of people might not believe, and that's their preference. But at the end of the day, I believe, and like I said, I know that, everything comes from him. So at the end of the day, like you said, our bodies was made to be for a man. And I enjoy it, and I just don't watch. I prefer to do it the right way. I really would. I'm not gonna say I would not. I would love to make sure that everything's the right way, or whatnot. And I don't think being sexual is a problem if it's being right and with your mate. You know what I'm saying? If you with your mate, I don't think it's a problem. But I just think that if you might have addiction to it, then you don't want it to leak out of your relationship.
Exactly.
And you may need to get you some accountability people to kind of help you, trustworthy people, not.
You know what? That is so true. I'm glad you said that, because sometimes it's your surroundings too. Yes.
Yeah. Environment. Yeah. Sometimes just need a person who will tell you the truth, about things, and be real with you, but honest, and hold you accountable for being responsible for yourself, because a lot of people are not out here practicing safe sex, and that's a problem for me, because I have a lot of loved ones that I don't judge. But it's one thing that you're out there having sex, but then you're not going to protect yourself too. Now I have to hold you accountable for that, and I'm not judging you, I'm holding you accountable, so you understand the responsibility that go along with it, or the consequences potentially that can go along with it.
That is true. That is true.
That is true.
Yeah.
And hopefully this podcast has been helpful for some individual that wanted to have this conversation but didn't know how to approach having the conversation.
Right.
Because you have a lot of people out there that don't know or don't have anybody to talk to.
Right.
So hopefully this was educational enough and authentic enough for people to be like, damn, I'm in that same mindset, or I didn't think of it this way, I didn't look at it that way. So again, this has been another great episode of Unfulfilled with Denise and our special guest, Minister K. Until next time, we are out.
Deuces. Thank you, Minister K.
Thank you, ladies, for having me.
All right, we out.